What's up, guys? James Miller Media here, coming at you with another episode of the Saving Seattle franchise. And let's just go ahead and say we have saved Seattle, but let's see if Seattle can save themselves from themselves, because Seattle Mariners will do Seattle Mariner things. In this episode, we are going over the Wildcard round versus the Boston Red Sox, and here we go. Let's go ahead and look at our lineup that we're going up against. Overall, had a pretty decent year. Their Pythagorean record said that they should have been 79 and 83, but instead they were 86 and 76. That's insane. And it's because, look, they did phenomenal in one-run games and phenomenal in extra inning games. So they did just enough to stay afloat and just enough to win a bunch of games. That is insane. Let's go look. Like, how do they do in September? I mean, I'm getting into the weeds there. Let's just go ahead and look, though. Batting average, 8th best team in baseball. I could say 8th for sure. Pitching, 8th best team. So 8-8 somehow gets them into the playoffs. I'm not concerned about this team whatsoever, but weirder things have happened. They have Cole Tolbert going today. They have Garrett Crochet going tomorrow, and then George Kirby going the day after that. Could be a George Kirby revenge game. Just remember, we did trade him. And again, he's done all right. He's turned it around. If we look at his pitching stats, we traded him after a down year. He ended up having an okay year, but injury. And then came back and then came back this year and was good. So, hey, if he turned it around for them, good for him. He's not a guy who we wanted around long-term at the price point that he wanted. Looking at their bullpen looks like we should be able to jump all over them. We got a bunch of lefty bats off the bench that we can have go after these guys, but this guy looks good. Wow. He's going to be a starter for them next year. That's insane. Good for him. Wow. Lineups-wise, I think we could take advantage of this. Christian Campbell being their best player, not really a center fielder at all, but is going to play center field. That's a choice. Max Muncy, Marcelo Meyer, Tristan Cassis, Kyle Tucker, Caden Kent. Caden Kent, wow. A&M alum Caden Kent playing first base. Interesting. He kind of rushed through the minors. Cool. But yeah, no. Estuary Ruiz, Michael Arroyo, Kyle Tucker being three of our former guys. Michael Arroyo was, I believe, also part of that trade that we sent. Yeah, that's not even close. Oh, man. In fact, let's look at the history. We traded Estuary Ruiz, George Kirby, Zach McKintry, Ryan Bliss, Johnny Formello, Luke Rayleigh, Marcelo Perez, and Hogan Windish in exchange for Rafael Devers. So, interesting. I like our chances. I think we're going to do an all right job. We're going to go ahead and play into the game. And before I jump in, yes, I have seen the game sound. We are going to go way down to, heck, even 10. We're going to go down to 10. We're going to go down to, I wish there was 0. In fact, you know what? We're just going to disable. Please tell me I disabled game sound. Show fireworks, yes. Home run horn. Only stadium specific. Yep. Okay. So just went through my settings real quick. Substitutions will be me. Sure. Perfect. All right. Let's look at position by position. Cal Riley versus Connor Wong. That's a easy Cal Riley. Nolan Jones versus Caden Kent. I think that's actually going to go towards Nolan Jones because the OPS is higher, the average is higher, more home runs, more RBIs. Like, no, Nolan Jones gets this one. Cole Young versus Mikey Romero. I might have to give it to Mikey. Yeah, probably going to have to give it to Mikey, but Mikey, we'll just have to see. Bo Bichette versus Romy Gonzalez. Yeah, Bo Bichette takes that one. Joey Ortiz versus Marcelo Myers. I think this one's more of a wash. Marcelo Meyer, again, good defensive guy. Joey Ortiz, slightly better defensively. Same exact bat. I'm going to give this one as a wash. Trey Morgan versus Estuary Ruiz. I'm going to give it to Trey Morgan. 84 at bats versus 500, though. No, I kind of have to give it to Estuary Ruiz. Christian Campbell versus Julio. Kyle Tucker versus Corbin Carroll. Corbin Carroll gets the edge, but I would probably... No, I would give it to Corbin Carroll. Better defensively, same amount of homers, more homers, same RBIs, slightly worse average. Yeah. And then Yordan Alvarez versus Tristan Casas. You already know how I'm going to take that all day, every day. Again, we're going up against Cole Tolbert, and we have Zach Gallen on the bump for us. Absolutely love it. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 1 here of 3 of the best of 3 for this wild card series against Boston. And you know me, I like to risp. All right. First and second here with 1 out for Caden Kent here in the top of the second. Let's see what Zach Gallen can do. He is going to pitch a 3-2 count. That is going to walk the bases loaded here. Yikes. Just not a really good at bat. We're going up against Rami Gonzalez. 1-2 count here for Zach Gallen. That is going to be a strikeout. So Estuary Ruiz is the last hope of this inning, potentially for Zach Gallen. Let's see. 3-1 count. That is going to be swung on, put into play towards the third baseman. That is going to be out number 3. Bo Bichette gets the out. Absolutely love it. Whew. All right. That was a close one. Now we're going to go ahead and risp again. 2 out here for Trey Morgan. Bo Bichette is batting. Bo Bichette strikes out. Yikes. All right, and we're going to go ahead and risp again. And we're going to risp again. And we're going to risp again. And we're going to risp again. Zach Gallen is at 69 pitches. Caden Kent is up first. We're going to just risp again. 2 outs here. 1-1 count for Marcelo Meyer. We are going to give one more batter. That is going to be a pop-up way on the infield. That is going to be caught by Mr. Cole Young. So through 5, we are not doing too hot. We are going to take a little bit more advantage of this game. We are going to start taking some pitches, see if we can get to this bullpen as soon as possible. Let's see what Trey Morgan can do. That is a 1-0 count. That is going to be a liner into right field, but right at Kyle Tucker. Maybe 2 to 3 steps to his right. Not the best right now. So Cole Tolbert is throwing a no-hitter through 5 at 66 pitches. We just need to try and get this pitch count up. Let's start taking as much pitches as we can, especially with the bottom of the lineup. That's a strike. 1-2 count here to Bo Bichette. That is going to be a liner into the left field, and that's going to break up the no-hitter. See, I did an announcer curse where I said, oh, there's a no-hitter, and we get out of the no-hitter. So we do have Cole Young up. With 1 out already, I'm not going to go ahead and go for a bunt. If it was the leadoff guy on, I would have absolutely gone for a bunt. But there's hit number 2. Cole Young is able to get that to dump in right in front of Kyle Tucker, and that's going to be 2 on here for Corbin Carroll. Let's just take that first pitch, see if we can get anything. No, that's a ball outside, ball high. Pitch number 2, that's going to be a strike for inside for strike 1. It's a 3-2 count to Corbin Carroll. That's going to be a liner into left field, but that is going to be caught for out number 2. Estuary Ruiz was able to make an easy catch for that. And Julio Rodriguez is now up. We're, again, going to take this first pitch. Looks like ball 1 inside. We're going to take the second pitch. Strike 1, change up. Let's see. 1-1 count. That is going to be a liner down the third base line. That's going to get fair. That is going to score Bichette. And it looks like Cole Young is going to be stopped at third base. He is going to round third base. That is going to be a 2 RBI double there for your boy, Julio Rodriguez. 2-run double puts us up ahead. We went from a no-hitter to busting this game open. Let's let Big Dumper strike out. And through 5, the Mariners are now leading 2-0. At 86 pitches, we are going to go ahead and let Zach Gallen pitch to one more batter because he is right-handed. Then we're going to switch it over to a left-handed pitcher in the bullpen. That is going to be a line drive deep into left field. That is going to be caught at the warning track by Trey Morgan. So now we are going to bring in, I would say, let's bring in Keegan Akin. Why not? Keegan Akin is going to go ahead and face this left-handed heavy lineup, and we're just going to risp. And he gets through it clean. Risp. Runners on first and third here. Trey Morgan is up to bat. We do have Tavian Josenberger on the bench. But I'm going to let Trey Morgan go. Let's see what he can do. 3-2 count. That is going to be a grounder to first base. That is going to go to second for 1 and back to first for 2. Should not have let Trey Morgan go. 6th inning is over. Trey Morgan is out. And I think it's also time. We're going to go ahead and call in Tavian Josenberger. He's going to slot into left field. He's just a much, much better defensive upgrade in left field. So, yeah. We have Kyle Tucker, Colt Wong, and Caden Kent coming up. I am going to go ahead and take this to... No, I'm going to let Keegan Akin go after Kyle Tucker first. That is a line drive into center field right at Julio Rodriguez for out number 1. Connor Wong is here to pitch, here to hit. He is batting .500 on the day, but we're going to go right after him. 3-2 count here, and that is going to be ball 4. So here is going to be Keegan Akin's last batter of the day, Caden Kemp. 0-2 count. That is going to be a grounder to the second baseman, Cole Young. Out at second. Out at first. Wow. Keegan Akin doing the darn thing, getting us a double play ball. Absolutely love it. Bo Bichette, Cole Young. Let's see what Bo Bichette can do on a 1-2 count here. That is going to be strikeout. Cole Young is up. Let's see what young Cole Young can do. That is going to be a pop-up on the infield. That is looking like it's going to go straight to Marcelo Meyer at shortstop. That is going to be out number 2. And Corbin Carroll is up to bat. On the day, he's over. We're going to just do a little cheeky bump for hit. See if we can get something going here. Nope, he misses it. And we're just going to swing away. 3-2 count to Corbin Carroll. That looks outside. Colton Wong tugged that. Oh, look at it over here. That is a ball. Man. All right, now we are going to go ahead to Jeremiah Estrada for this inning. We are going to just risp. Oh, no. That is going to be a liner right at the second baseman. That's an out. We are going to let Jeremiah Estrada pitch to Christian Campbell. 3-1 count. That is going to be a walk. Bases loaded here. We have to go to a lefty. But do we go to AJ Minter or do we go to Nathan Lavender? I'm going to go to Nathan Lavender right here. 2-2 count here. Infield is in. That is going to be a grounder to Cole Young. On to the catcher for 1 out. On to first base. Not in time, but we cut down the run at home. Got the crucial out at the plate. No double play. Tristan Cassis is up to bat. 2 outs. 3-0 count, and he walks 1 run in. Kyle Tucker is up to bat. 2-2 count. Nathan Lavender gets out of it. Oh, gets out of a bases loaded 1 out jam, and we are through. We need to score some insurance runs. Let's see what Julio Rodriguez can do on a 1-0 count from Gregory Soto. That is going to be a grounder to first base. That is going to be an easy Caden Kent unassisted play. Right-hander coming in as well to face 3 lefties in a row. Let's see what Cal Riley can do. Big dumper up, 2-2 count. That is going to be a strikeout. Yordan Alvarez, what is hurt? Strained groin. What is it affecting? Running, minimal. You know what? I'm actually going to do something crazy here. I'm going to let Steven Kwan get one at bat for Yordan Alvarez. Let's just see what happens. 1-0 count here to Steven Kwan. That is going to be a liner into left field. That is going to hang up for Estuary Ruiz. And that is going to be an out. All right, top of the ninth. We have Connor Wong, Caden Kent, and Romy Gonzalez. We can't go to Griffin Jacks, so we got to go to Ryan Walker. 3-2 count here to Connor Wong. That is going to be a strikeout. Strikeout number 1. Caden Kent is up to bat. 2-0 count here to Caden Kent. He's probably sitting dead red. That is a grounder to Joey Ortiz. On to first base. No errors. That is out number 2. And Boston's last hope, Romy Gonzalez, is up to bat. 0-2 count here. And he gets plunked. And he gets plunked. All right, this is his last, Ryan Walker's last batter. If it goes to Marcelo Meyer, we are switching to AJ Minter. But it's not going to. Because he just said, you know what? I want to face one more batter because I don't know if I'm going to pitch again in this wild card series. And just like that, Seattle takes a 1-0 lead in the wild card series. Overall, looking at the box score, not a lot of offense by either team. Both starting pitchers absolutely dealt today. Julio Rodriguez was huge for that 2-out, 2-run double. We absolutely needed that. On top of that, just the guys getting on base was huge. Trey Morgan left a lot of people on base. Cal Riley left people on base. We left 10 on. They left 17 runners on base. That is terrible. Not 17. So total, they left 8 on base. Total, we left 5 on base. We stole a base. They stole a base. Mikey Ramiro caught stealing. Wow. Looking at it, we had our, 4 or 5 pitchers go. Jeremiah Estrada tried to give it away. Nathan Lavender held it together. Zach Gallen pitched 5 1/3 strong innings. Keegan Akin came in and pitched 1 2/3 of perfect baseball. I know it's not perfect, but perfect in the sense of he did his darn job. Jeremiah Estrada, Nathan Lavender, and Ryan Walker come together to finish out the rest of the game. And now we have our perfect bullpen ready to go for the rest of this series. So I'm about to start game 2, and I think I'm going to make a very unpopular decision. I'm actually going to sit Yordan Alvarez. I want him to get some better rest. I think Steven Kwan can come in and play, play a better left field than Trey Morgan. I think Trey Morgan's bat has been absolutely vital in these last few weeks, so I cannot sit him. And I need him just to get a little bit better rest. I am also going to have Steven Kwan leading off the game. Nolan Jones is going to go ahead and bat 4th. Corbin Carroll's going to slot all the way down to 8th. 7th. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So Steven Kwan's going to lead off. Julio Rodriguez batting 2nd. Cal Riley 3rd. Nolan Jones 4th. Joey Ortiz 5. Trey Morgan 6. Corbin Carroll 7. Bill Bichette 8. And Cole Young 9. Bryce Miller is on the bump for us today. We just need him to do his best, get us through 6 innings, save that bullpen as much as we can, and we just need to try and do our best. But you know me, we are going to risp. And running into trouble in the first inning, we got 2 on now for Tristan Cassis here. Let's see, 3-2 count. That is going to be a grounder to first, on to second, dropped by Joey Ortiz. Error. Bases loaded for Kyle Tucker. Jumping on the first pitch, that is going to be a pop over shallow right field. That is going to be caught. Getting in quick. Oh my goodness, Corbin Carroll just may have saved us this inning. Connor Wong is up to bat here. Jumping on the first pitch again. That is going to be a pop-up into shallow right field. Corbin Carroll is there, and after 2 hits and an error, Boston comes up with nothing. Who's Jackson Stevens? Is this an opener? Hold up. Is this an opener? Has to be an opener. Yeah, Jackson Stevens. Oh no. Boys, we better jump on it and jump on it quick. We risp. 1 hit. We risp. 1 hit. We risp. 2 hits, but nothing doing. We risp. 5 hits, but nothing doing. We risp. Kyle Riley, big dumpers, finally broke out. He has hit a 2-run home run, and we are ahead now 2-0 in the 3rd inning. Big 2-out home run there by Kyle Riley. Needed that. And we're still threatening with 2. Trey Morgan here batting against Jackson Stevens. 2 on here, 1 out, or 2 outs. Let's see what Trey Morgan can do. That is going to be a pop-up on the infield. And I know, I wish Yordan Alvarez was in that, but I feel like we really needed to give him a break today. Bryce Miller, 52 pitches through 3. He's not going to be lasting much longer, especially if he's going to give up a 2-run home run to Estuary Ruiz. My God. I mean, their offense is doing their job. Our offense is doing its job. We're going to risk one last time. George Kirby is in the game now. George Kirby pitched 94 pitches 4 days ago. He's at 66% rest, so we need to jump on him and jump on him quick. We're going to hop in here for Julio Rodriguez jumping in on the first pitch. That is going to be a pop-up into right center field. That is going to get on and get out. And just like that, George Kirby, we sent you out of town. Julio Rodriguez sent you out of town again. Get out of here with that. Kyle Riley, what do you have to say about it? 1-1 count here to Kyle Riley. That is going to be a liner into left field. That is going to get down in front of Estuary Ruiz. 2 at-bats, 2 hits against George Kirby. The gross mismanagement of Boston is going to be studied here. That is a pop-up by Nolan Jones. He hasn't been doing too hot. It might be time for us to just go full Yordan at first and not even worry about it. Joey Ortiz is up to bat. Let's see what Joey can do. 1-0 count. That is going to be a liner up the middle. That is going to get down for a base hit. Big dumpers rounding second. He's going to stay there at second base. Trey Morgan's up against George Kirby. Let's see what Trey Morgan can do. 1-1 count. That is going to be a liner over into left field. That is going to get down for a base hit, but it's not going to be deep enough to score. Kyle Riley, 1 base at a time. And we are putting it on. Corbin Carroll, find your first playoff hit here, bud. A 2-2 count. That is going to get through the infield. That is going to score at least 1, probably 2. Absolutely awesome. Trey Morgan gets to third base. Corbin Carroll in there with a double. Absolutely awesome. 2 RBI double, and we have busted it open here. Bo Bichette is up to bat. 1-2 count. That is going to be a strikeout, but the damage is already done. We still have Cole Young to go. 3-2 count here to Cole Young. That is going to be a liner up the middle. That is going to be to Marcelo Meyer on a hop, and that is going to be the end of the inning, but not before Marcelo Meyer is out of the game and Seattle scores 3 runs on 5 hits. It is now time to turn the ball over to Jesus Luzardo, and let's see if Jesus Luzardo can pitch us 2, 3, 4 innings and get out of this game. George Kirby still in there. Risp. Julio Rodriguez on second base. 1-2 count here to Kyle Riley. 3-2 count here to Kyle Riley. That is going to be a swinging bunt. That is beautiful. That is going to be out number 2. But we have a runner on third here with 2 outs. And I'm really tempted to call Yordan Alvarez in. That is going to be to second base, and that is going to end the inning. I'm really debating on just completely subbing everyone out. But Jesus Luzardo, go ahead and go again. Perfect. George Kirby's still in there. Now Richard Fitz is in, and we have 2 on, 1 out here. 1-0 count to Bo Bichette. That is going to be a liner up the middle. That might get through and score 1. Wow. That is going to score 1. Head first slide. That is safe. Bichette goes to second. Bo Bichette here with a run-scoring double. Estuary Ruiz is now in center field. Christian Campbell, who started in center field, is now playing shortstop. Eli White came in to replace the injured... Just gross mismanagement. That's all I'm going to say. Cole Young up here, 0-2 count. That is going to be a liner through the gap. That is going to get down. That is going to score 1. Kyle Tucker coming up throwing. That is going to not be in time. And we score 2 more here in the bottom of the 7th. A 2-run single. And now Yinsi Almonte is in versus Stephen Kwan. 1-2 count here to Stephen. That is going to be a grounder up the middle. That is going to be out number 2. Julio Rodriguez is up to bat. Jumping on the first pitch, that is going to be a grounder to the second baseman, and that is going to be out number 3. But not before we score 3 more on 4 hits. And we are going to go ahead and make a call to the bullpen, call to everyone. Tavian Josenberger is going to go ahead and play center field. Wang Tsai, hey, go get you some time at second base. Easton Carmichael, go get some time at catcher. Jesus Luzardo's still in. RISP. And we're good. Easton Carmichael getting his first playoff at bat. 2-0 count here. Easton Carmichael's got himself a good at bat, and that's going to be a liner into center field right at Estuary Ruiz, but that is going to be out number 1. Nolan Jones is up to bat. 1-2 count here to Nolan, and that's going to be a strikeout. Struck him out on a slider. And Joey Ortiz is up to bat. 1-1 count here for Joey. That is going to be a big fly, deep left center field. That is going to get out of here. Joey Ortiz just says, you know what? I want to hit a home run. I want to hit a 400-footer because they're not dead until I say they're dead. Trey Morgan here with a 2-2 count. Let's see if he can... Oh, he gets plunked. Charge him, Trey. Go beat him up. Nope. Take your base. Corbin Carroll up. 1-1 count here to Corbin, and that is going to be a grounder to the shortstop. Diving play. It gets away. Oh, no. The terrible infield play. That is an error now. Bo Bichette is up to bat. 2-1 count here to Bo. That is going to be a grounder to shortstop. And if there's 2 errors in a row, I would be really upset with this game. But I also wouldn't be upset because Wang Tsai would have been able to get 1 at bat. Jesus Luzardo is at 43 pitches, so we are going to go ahead and go to Mike Russell. Why not? We're going to go to Mike Russell. RISP. And we're just going to let Mike Russell finish this inning. And that is going to be the ball game, and that is going to be the series. Your Seattle Mariners have won a playoff series after going back-to-back losses in their 2 previous series. Sure. It's never fun, but hey, and I might be wrong. Don't listen to me. We have for sure beat the brakes off of Boston, winning a 2-1 game and then winning a 9-2 game. Let's just hope that that's not all of our luck put into one game. And real quick, I do need to go to my playoff roster and make some adjustments. So, we are going to call up Connolly Early and Cade Horton. Might not even call up Connolly Early. No, we're going to move Connolly Early into a bullpen role. So, pitching-wise, we are going to remove Mike Russell. We're going to remove you from the playoff roster. And Nestor Cafe, we are going to remove you from the playoff roster. We are going to call up Connolly Early, and we're going to call up Cade Horton. Pitching-wise, we're going to go to a 4-man rotation. Brian Wu being starter number 1. Zach Gallen being number 2, Cade Horton being number 3. Right? No, Connolly Early being number 3? Yeah, Connolly Early being number... No, not Connolly Early being number 3. Cade Horton being number 3. Yeah, Cade Horton being number 3. But it's going to go Brian Wu, Zach Gallen, Cade Horton, Bryce Miller. Connolly Early is going to go into a long relief role. Yeah, we have so many left-handers in our bullpen. This is awesome. I absolutely love this. And lineups-wise, I'm debating on sending down someone to make room for another right-handed bat, but I think we got the squad that we're going to roll with. But we are going to go ahead and just real quick see what the playoff picture is going to look like. Lot of players retiring. Lots of who? Josh Kasevich? No. He was going to be called up next year. Jack Noble? No. Wow. Oh, and this guy, I had him as a contract guy just because, real quick. And this is for you guys that stay long into my episodes. If you look at personnel, I think he's going to do really well with... he works well with personable, struggles with temperamental. No one's personable. But because people work well with controlling, one guy doesn't work well with controlling. But because he works well with controlling, I think he's going to be good for our personnel. Anyways, let's go back to the playoff series. Tampa Bay knocks off the Yankees. Cubs knock off the Brewers, so I'm cheering for no one over here. And the Atlanta Braves beat the Dodgers. So the divisional series will be the battle for the East. Tampa Bay versus Baltimore. Let's go Tampa Bay. Seattle versus Detroit. Chicago versus Cincinnati. The battle for the Central. And Atlanta versus New York. The battle for the East. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. We'll go over rosters and we'll go over head-to-head next episode. But until then, see you next time.